Oh my gosh. I don't have my mic. Here's my mic. All right, can you hear me now? Let me see. Chats. Roger says, I hope the wheel's okay. The wheel is fine, thank you. All right. Just need somebody to confirm that I have sound. And then we can get going. I'm hoping to just kind of squeeze in this live. You know what I should have done? I should have grabbed my other phone so that, thank you, Roger. Roger says, audio and video is good. Who's it? The Unmanifest. Hi. Oh no, what happened to my chat? Why is this thing freaking out? Let's turn down the sound. No, don't be playing a video. No. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Sorry. I am not all together here, obviously. I was hoping to squeeze in this live, like really short notice, and like it's early in the morning on a Monday, like who's gonna join, right? And that way I won't have too many questions or anything. But I should have grabbed my other phone because there were some big comments. I posted a video about showing the damage on my wheel and my gear. And on that video, there's a lot of comments, and some of those comments are really big, and they wanted me to talk about stuff. And I was like, okay, I'll talk about it in the live stream, but now I can't because I don't know what those questions are because they're not in front of me. And this phone is only to show me what is on chat. So I don't want to lose that. Can I switch back? I probably could switch back and forth, but I'm not that savvy. So unfortunately, maybe I'll just stick with what happens here, and I'll try to go off of memory on the other stuff. Why? Why? Things are not showing me stuff. All right, so yesterday I had a crash at high speed. I would be guessing somewhere in the above 50-mile-an-hour range because we were pushing it. Melody says too much wine. Unfortunately, I can't blame that. I didn't feel the effects of the wine before or after. It was a group ride, and it was the Temecula wine tasting tour sort of thing. And I've never been to a wine tasting before. And yeah, that was a lot of fun, but I can't blame that. Um, James, hi James, good to see you're doing okay. Yes, I'm doing fine. So what's funny is that I know a lot of people want to like go, oh my gosh, you know, like a high speed crash, right? But I mean, you look at the damage to my wheel, you look at the damage to me, and I swear to God, we all know people that have crashed at 20 miles an hour or less, and they've suffered way more damage to themselves and their wheel than I did in my high-speed crash. So if we judge by that, it really wasn't a big deal crash at all, right? Isaac says, really glad that Scorpion helmet did its job. Yes, absolutely. So I have my Cardo. It's plugged in. My Cardo is my Scorpion helmet. So this, I can still use it. I can still use this. I can still see fine. But yeah, I did order a new visor because I don't know, scratches are cool, right? Scratches. This was a pretty hefty whoosh, and my Cardo is untouched. I'm so grateful about. So it hit here. There's stuff back here There's stuff over here. Like I tumbled hard. And the reason why I tumbled this time is because last time I had a high-speed crash, I had that road rash on the back of my shoulder, back of my scapula or shoulder blade. And and this time I was like, okay, now I remembered that I'm not wearing leathers. If you're wearing leathers, leather is the key, is the king for sliding out. And sliding is the best way to dissipate impact forces, right? And all that impact energy, just slide it out. But I'm not wearing leathers. I'm wearing mesh. Mesh is not going to let me slide. And it proved to me that last time because it just tore. It went through my outer jacket, went through this, and then I got a little bit of road rash on the back of my shoulder. So this time I was like, and this time I didn't even have an outer jacket. So this time I was like, okay, remember, you don't have an outer jacket. You can't slide this out. You're going to have to do something else. And I was like, oh, we're not going that fast, like 50 miles an hour. We'll just tumble. Tumble is fine. If I tumble, then I know that I will spread out the forces more across different parts of my body, across different parts of my gear, and instead of just on one piece of gear that will just like scrape right through, right? So I'm just gonna spread it out across all different gear, and then it won't get to me, which kind of worked, because now my road rash on my shoulder is a lot less. I will show you this one. That's it. And the worst part of that is it actually tore up my bra strap, got all chewed up, but it held. My bra strap held, but my bra strap got all chewed up, and that was my favorite bra. So that, my scapula, and that little bit, that's my road rash. That's not even like true road rash with any kind of gone through, too many, like just a few millimeters of skin, just top layers. It's like a rug burn sort of thing. I do have some road rash on my side, and that is because that will almost always happen if you're wearing a two-piece outfit that is not connected. So my leathers are two pieces, but they zip. It's a full zip all the way around, so it keeps it together. But if you just wear a jacket and pants, which most of us do in EUCs, then very commonly the jacket will ride up during a crash, and then you will get this. Should I show you this? I have a bit of rash here and across the back here, and that happens because it separates. Your jacket separates, so that's what happens. Not a big deal, but it's a very common injury when you are only wearing two-piece unattached. So I do have that. Let's see. Steve came off my wheel today at less than 2 miles an hour. 2 broken ribs. And still in A&E. What's A&E? And had all the gear apart from my back protector, so it's not all about speed. Absolutely, it's not all about speed. In fact, and I keep saying this, a lot of times the lower the speed, the reason is because speed actually allows you to slide and dissipate all that energy safely. If you don't have the speed to slide, then you just go splat. And when you go splat, you are forced to just absorb all of that impact forces. If you have gear to absorb it, foam will absorb things to an extent. That's why you have different level foams that will absorb different amounts of forces. And after that, the rest is absorbed by your body. Your body, each part of your body, your bones, they actually did a breakdown on how much newtons of force it takes to break different bones in your body. So there you can look this up. There are this much force to break a rib, this much force to break your femur. Your femur bone is the largest and strongest bone in your body. How much force it takes to break that. And then you can use that data and extrapolate and figure out, okay, at these speeds, how much forces am I actually going to be experiencing? plus all of the unknown factors like the way that you hit, right? And the different parts that you hit, or the different leverages when you hit and stuff like that. All of that plays a factor. It basically becomes incalculable in a crash because there's just too many factors to be able to calculate, but it gives you an idea. Um, Slow falls, James, slow falls are by far the most damaging. I know a few people that went down at 20 miles an hour or less and broke bones. Exactly. Same thing. So, conclusion, it's better to go fast and crash. So, let's see. Oh my gosh, I keep losing my chat. Come back. Come back. Come back. All right. So, this went through my first high-speed crash and I repaired it. And now this is my second high-speed crash. and and it's so chewed up. Where's my, here it is. This was still in there. The foam is actually there. Can you see that? The foam is actually shaved down over there, but that may have been from the first time it crashed. But yeah, it tore through there. It tore through here because I roll off my shoulders and then my forearms protect me as well, but I chewed all that up. I think this is still repairable. No, it's not. But I do have another one of these brand new in my closet that is fine. And I did order something else, a jacket from Knox, and $500 jacket from Knox because I do want to start riding my motorcycle again. So, and I don't want to be wearing my full leathers, so that jacket will be good as well. Um, my back protector took some scrapes, but not that bad. So the back protector did its job. Oh, going back to the helmet, how you know that the helmet did its job is that well, one, my head is intact, and two, I didn't suffer much like concussion or stuff like that. I think I had a minor concussion just because afterwards I was just a tiny bit confused. Like I noticed that I used a word at the beginning and at the end of the same sentence, and that was weird. Like I shouldn't have done that, but I did. So I'm like, maybe I am a little concussed. And then I had a tiny bit of a start of what I thought felt like a little bit of a headache, but then it went away. So, I mean, obviously, yeah, I hit my head, but it was minor. And that's because the helmet absorbed most of that impact forces, so it didn't get to my head. Now, a lot of people say helmets do not prevent concussions. That is an oversimplification. So what goes on is your brain is suspended inside your skull, and it's suspended by a whole network of soft tissue, but it's suspended basically like a little net, like a trampoline is suspended. Or if you look at an egg, the yolk of the egg is suspended by these thingies, and it keeps the yolk kind of inside, and then it's surrounded by the white of the egg, right? So the yolk of the egg is suspended. So that is how your brain is suspended. So what happens in a concussion, and you can have a concussion just by someone punching you, but it needs to be a certain type of punch. It needs to be a punch. Usually, if you catch down here on your chin and you snap the head, it has to be a quick snap motion. The reason why it's a quick snap motion is that when you do a quick snap motion, then that is how your brain hits your skull. The brain hits the skull because that suspension is going to work, but with a quick snap, that suspension is not going to be able to catch that. So your brain's going to go boom like that against your skull, and that is what causes the bruising on the brain, and that is a concussion. Then too much bleeding, bruising from the bruising, the severity of it causes um, pressure in their brain, and then high pressure and all that. So then it goes downhill from there. But yeah, so for me, so yeah, the helmet is to protect your skull, but how it would help with concussion is that with that snap motion, if the forces of the snap was reduced, that means it does reduce the force of the impact into your skull as well, therefore reducing the concussion. Okay, so yeah, helmets do not, I don't know, that's, I explained. if, if you need if you need me to explain more, then let me know, because otherwise I would just keep going around and around in circles, because that's how my brain works. I just so anyways, let's see. Spike, I fell at 5 miles an hour, needed 10 stitches. My faster crashes, I've just gotten up and continued to ride. What motorcycle do you ride? I'm about to buy a RSV4. I had 8 motorcycles. I used to race motorcycles. I have my R1 is my favorite street bike. I have R6s, 636s, 6Rs. Um, Yamahas and Kawasaki's are my brands. I like those, and all street bikes. I had a dirt bike. I had a pit. I still have my pit bike, but now I'm reducing all that down to. I'm just going to reduce down to 2 bikes. I'm going to have a 636 and an R1. The R1 is going to be my street bike. That's my favorite. His name is Sheol. He's all black, and then my 636 is one of my ex-race bikes, and its subframe is completely twisted. So I was thinking about having someone do a custom subframe that will allow me to carry a wheel in it, and that way I can ride my 636 to a group ride, and then pull out my wheel from the subframe, and then ride my wheel, and then come back. I kind of want to do that because some of these rides are far away, and being able to ride the bike further distances will save me on gas and stuff like that. Plus, I don't know, but I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. It's a thought. So I don't think I have much else to show about gear. Some people might want to see Groot. Groot is actually fine, but after my first crash, I actually had to replace this bag. So I bought the exact same bag, and then this time there was a bit of, it got hit on this side, and then you can see from here it got hit on this side, but completely avoided Groot. So Groot was safe. so, so Groot was safe this time. Yay! Melody said, Melody said, if this was like Toy Story and the Stuffies were alive, then they'd be afraid to ride with you. And I'm like, I know, right? That's so true. Here's Groot saying, no, Groot's like, I am Groot. I am fine. He's strong. Groot takes a beating and keeps going on. It's fine. Um, my EVT my EVT mirror came off, as always. This thing always pops off, but all you have to do is pop it back on again, and it keeps going. So my EVT mirror is still going. I'm still expecting my replacement, so that's good. I already showed the damage to my wheel. The wheel is fine. I am going to take off the kickstand and try to bend it back. It's been bent back before. It came to me bent. This is the first time I bent it, and then I will try to bend it back. If I can't, then I'll have to order another kickstand, because I do like having the kickstand. Um, okay, so why did I crash? Okay, so some people want to know, what is the one thing that made me crash? What was the one failure? Well, big failures don't work like that. There's something called the Swiss cheese model of error. And this model, I mean, it's controversial and all that stuff, but if you look at it, then it's basically just saying that in any major catastrophe, and I'm not saying that this is a catastrophe, but in any major failure or stuff like that, there's a Swiss cheese effect in play, which means that there are things that you put, safety precautions that you put in place, right? That help and prevent errors from being made. But what happens is, and if you miss any one of these safety precautions, it'll might result in a minor error, but it probably won't result in a major error. A major error happens when a bunch of holes, like in a Swiss cheese, all of a sudden line up together, and then you have a major error. So that means there isn't ever truly one major fault, one thing to blame. It is the alignment of several things, and that leads to this failure. So, what were these things? Why did this phone just beep? I don't know. So what were these things? Okay, I am not proud of this. Actually, I'm very ashamed of this, and I hate to say it and I hate to admit it, but it is absolutely probably the topmost thing that was a problem, and that was I lost my temper. Um, we were in a group ride and we were going along, and there was a truck that passed me very closely. He actually swerved into, we were all taking a lane. There was another lane over there that all the cars were using on the left. And he passed me super close, super fast, and he swerved in and stuff like that. And in a split second, I lost my temper, and we were all on comms, and the last thing everyone heard from me was, "That asshole!" And then I just slammed into the wheel to go after him. Doesn't make any sense, but I slammed it down and I went down. I crashed. So, very first error, I lost my temper and I went momentarily insane. Basically, you guys, I am a baby Hulk. I notice it's surprising for you guys to hear because you think that I'm all like nice and happy all the time. But no, I have a major temper problem that I've been all my life trying to control. And it has come up before. And and I always try to rein myself in and stuff like that. And this time I wasn't so successful, but that wasn't just the thing. Okay, so the first thing is I lost my temper. Second thing is I have been I have been riding the EX30 is still a new wheel to me. Okay, so it's a new wheel. I'm still learning it. I'm still trying to figure out where its boundaries are and how he acts and stuff like that. Now, how he acts and all that for lower speeds, it's for granted. We already know all that. I'm trying to figure out at the higher speeds, how much torque it has, how much power and how much speed it has. I'm pushing it at those limits, right? And that area is still unknown. So it's a new wheel and I'm trying to learn it. And when you try to learn things, you make mistakes. And I'm still a newbie, so I will make mistakes. And then third error was while I've been learning this wheel, I've been amazed at how strong it was, how powerful it was, how stable it's been. Like normally I wouldn't be able to just slam on the acceleration and have it just catch me and just go, right? But this wheel has been doing that for me. It's been like giving me so much power I've been so happy with it, and I've just been like, yeah, yeah, keep giving me the power, keep giving me the power. I was like, and I felt so confident and so secure with this wheel. So led to overconfidence. So now we have some of the major sins. We have loss of temper, we have greed for more power, and we have overconfidence. um, and then, okay, so overconfidence in the wheel. And then what else? Not understanding the difference between cutout and over torque or over lean, not fully understanding that. Okay, so that is the fourth. And I think those are the four main factors that I think led to my crash. Now, so Roger's been telling me there's a difference between cutout and over torque, and I haven't been getting it. And then he told me there's a video I should watch that explains it, but the guy talks so slow, and I like hate watching things. And I know excuses, right? I should have watched it. I didn't watch it. I still haven't watched it. I'm going to watch it. I will watch it. I will learn this. But apparently it's something very important to learn. So okay, so what is a cutout? A cutout can be tracked with your, okay, now I'm going to say these things, but don't take this as actual reality because I don't know if this is actually real. I'm just going to say things as as how I understand it as. You guys can correct me on screen if you want. And help me out here, if you want, but this is my basic understanding right now, okay, of what this is. So, you know how I say that I track my PWMs, all right? So my power pulse pulse width modulation, and that is an indication of how much power the wheel has, and you get from 0 to 100. You calibrate it to 100, right? And this whole time I've been hitting 55 miles an hour, and I'm only at 81 PWM. So then I'm like, I still have so much more power. I haven't even tapped into, oh my gosh, the speed of this thing, right? And then I creeped it forward slowly, smartly, and I was like, okay, I hit 84 PWM. My second level PWM beeps is at 85. I've never even hit my second level beeps. So I'm like, yeah, okay, 84, I'm stable, I'm good. This crash, I was at 54.6 miles an hour, not even the top speed that I've ever hit safely. And I was at 87% PWM, according to my darkness bot. So all my parameters that I use to keep myself safe, I was still within those parameters. So I'm like, what the hell? How did I was within those. And then Roger's like, you over torqued it. And when you do that, you're asking the wheel to instantly give you this much power, and it couldn't do it. So you went from here to here too fast, and that went straight through all of the safety precautions, went through like all of the beeps, and like it doesn't even go through any of those safety precautions anymore. You just went right through to like overpower, and the wheel just didn't have anything to give you anymore, and so then you went down. And my thing is like, I can't do that. I'm a weak little girl, and I'm a noob, and I've tried to overpower wheels before, and I couldn't do it. I can't overpower wheels. Well, oh, so that's number 5. The fifth error that I had was believing that I could not over torque a wheel. Therefore, I believed it was impossible for me to over torque a wheel because I'm just a little girl, I'm a noob, and I don't know how to do that. And I don't have enough strength and power in me to do that, or skill to do that. Well, apparently, since I've been riding, somewhere along the line, I picked up the ability to be able to channel my forward momentum efficiently enough to, despite my weakness, I am now able to over torque an EX30 plus the lower battery level. We were at a lower battery level, so it wasn't at full power. So those are the 5 main things that led to my demise. So dramatic. But let's see. So yeah, that's what happened. So what do we do from here? Well, I have a lot of studying to do. I need to watch that video that Roger's Roger keeps telling me to watch that video. So I need to watch that video. I need to realize that I can over torque wheels now. I need to realize that despite how much power he has, he does have a limit. And how do we ride safely? We need to learn the limits, know the limits of our wheel, and then figure out how to ride within those limits. I rode outside those limits. I accidentally just went a little temporarily insane and I just went boom on it. It's like, okay, I won't do that again. I'm sorry. Not a big deal. Like, I can learn. I can, not do that again. I know how to ride safely, but it's boring. You see me riding the Sherman S, like Larry loaned me his Sherman S and said I could use it for testing. Did I go out and go nuts on it? No. I was like, this is Larry's baby. I have to keep it safe and do not hurt his baby. And I did. I was a good girl. And all the other demo wheels and stuff like that, I was a good girl. But this is my EX30 and I want to learn, and part of learning is pushing past what you already know. If you always stay within what you know, how do you learn? Anyways, I do this and then I share my findings with you so that you guys don't have to make those same mistakes. You can learn from my mistakes. So it's a win-win for everybody, yeah? Okay, I've been talking a lot. Let me check what people are saying. McKenna. Hi McKenna. In my opinion, ooh, what did I do? In my opinion, I like the kickstand off my EX30 because it allows me to go down steeper stairs and ride more off-road trails, even if they're pretty rough. Okay, I will keep that in mind. Or maybe since it's all twisted up, maybe I can twist the kickstand up higher and it'll be okay. Because I still like my kickstand. Although the Grizzla system is coming out, and maybe their bumpers are going to work just great as kickstand, and then I can just leave the kickstand off. So we'll see how that goes. But thank you. What you writing says how many high-speed crashes makes this for you? Like 3. Nope, this is my second one. So the first one was the master, and that was a problem because it didn't beep. It never gave me my beeps. And so that I trusted in the beeps. I count on my beeps. It never beeped. And it turned out that there was a firmware that disabled the beeps. And I didn't know because these firmware things sometimes just happen, or an update to darkness bot or something just happens, and you don't realize that it happened. And I didn't test. I didn't do my safety helmet beep test before the ride. So now before every ride, lesson learned, right? Now before every ride, I lift my wheel, I do a free spin, I double check that I have my helmet beeps. And once that check is good, then I know, okay, I have my beeps. So that was a conclusion. That was one of the main conclusions for that crash. This time, it's an over torque. It's a totally different issue, totally different things. I have never, here's the thing, I race motorcycles. I have had my temper problem with motorcycles all my life too. But when I lose my temper and I go and I slam the throttle on my motorcycle, the worst that would happen is that I get a little wheelie. And then I slam that and it's like it's fine, but I don't know, in this crash, I snapped into that mode and I went a little insane and I kind of forgot that I wasn't on a motorcycle anymore. I'm on a wheel that is limited because it's battery powered and it's low battery. And all of these things are new concepts to me. I have years of training and experience on my motorcycle, and in split-second moments I revert back to that. And that is where I know a lot of people say, oh, your motorcycle experience gives you an edge with the unicycles. I don't really feel that. A lot more times, it has been a detriment because I will go do things that I did on my motorcycle. And this is not a motorcycle. I do this in the canyons at the GMR rides. I'll be going through turns and turns and turns, and then maybe I'll hit a turn and I'll get scared and I'll panic or something. And all of a sudden, I feel my body switch to motorcycle mode, and I'll throw my body off of the wheel and I'll go to throw my knee down, almost sending me completely into a crash because I am now on a unicycle. This is not what you do on a unicycle. But my body reverted back to that instinct that I had developed for years racing motorcycles. So you take my relatively new experiences. I've only been riding the EUC for a year. 1 year of EUC knowledge and experience. That's why I keep saying to people, I'm still a newbie, versus 7 years of high intensity training and racing motorcycles. In an event of a panic or whatever, my brain apparently goes back to those 7 years of motorcycle training versus the relatively new 1 year of unicycle training, if that makes any sense at all. I know it sounds weird, but that's the explanation that I have because that's what I'm finding that my body does or my brain does. So yeah, in all of my years of experience, if I slam on the gas pedal in a car, it'll either choke or it'll go, right? If I slam on the throttle, I will either have a wheelie or it'll zoom like I wanted it to. I slammed into it on the EUC and I fell. And my brain was like, what just happened? And because it's still not second nature to my brain that this is a device that has a battery and limited capacity, and I have to, and a lot lower capacity than what I'm used to. I'm used to an R1 has so much power and speed. And that's why when people say, oh, you're such a speed junkie, you're such a power junkie. And I'm like, I don't know how you get that from me riding a unicycle, because if I was, I'd be riding my R1. My R1 has so much power and speed. If I wanted that, I'd be riding my R1. But no, I'm riding these gimpy little one-wheel things that can only go 55 miles an hour or a little bit more, but not if you don't want to be in danger, right? And then you got all these limitations of the battery. Not that I'm downing these things. I'm just saying that it is not a motorcycle. And that's what my brain still needs to catch up on too. And it only happens in those quick moments of like panic or extreme little temper flares. Okay. Um, so how many high-speed crashes makes this for you? 3. Nope, it's 2. This is my second one. Both of them were completely different situations. Both of them was because there was knowledge that I lacked, and the crash highlighted those. And I have since and will, I have identified the problem, how and why I crashed, and I will make necessary adjustments, and it won't happen again. Um, I will find new ways to crash. I will find new things that I know nothing about, and I don't know that I don't know, and I will crash in those ways. But these I do learn from my mistakes. So that's my one saving grace is I do. And that's how I learn too. I learn by trial and error and pushing and knocking on all these doors and seeing what happens. You know how they say, what killed the cat? Curiosity killed the cat. That's me. Roger says, I love that guy. Me too. um, it's not that I don't want to listen to Roger. He knows everything. Like, yes, but it's not that I don't want to listen. It's just that, he'll tell me things like, be careful about over torquing. And then I'll be like, well, what do you mean? I've never over torqued a wheel before. I don't really know what over torque means. And then he explains it to me or whatever. And I'll go, I don't think I can do that. And then I'll try things and I'll go, I can't do that. I'm not strong enough to over torque a wheel, but I will still try to be careful and try to, but I don't truly get it. But now I do, because now I've over torqued it. Now I know what it means. And now it's like, oh, that's what you mean. So it's not that I'm not trying to listen. It's just that I don't know. Um, Vapor Ripper, multiple wheels, riding over 50 miles an hour, multiple crashes over 50 miles an hour, and you still call yourself a noob? Well, yeah, because if um if I wasn't a noob, I'd be doing 55 miles an hour safely in all different conditions and be winning everything. But no, crashes means a mistake was made. If I'm still making mistakes, I'm still being a noob. Um, what you're writing, Roger's correct. Pretty easy to over torque around 85% PWM. Yes, I understand that now. Glyphics. I just bought a Sherman S rather than the EX30. I'm beginning to wonder if I made the right choice. If you want to be safer, yes, the Sherman S is a much safer wheel than the EX30. And I've said that from the beginning. I've said if you want a safe wheel, go with the V13 or the Sherman S. I love the way the Sherman S acts at high speeds, and when you push it, it has a pedal dip, but you can safely ride these pedal dips. Not that you should, but you can. I figured out how to do that, and I can ride the Sherman S so safe. It keeps me so safe. The Master and the EX30 doesn't do that. Their pedal dips is like it goes from to boom. You can save it. You can, and I've saved it on my Master several times, but only when I am ready for it. Only when it's those instances where I know and I'm expecting and I'm waiting for that pedal to dip. And the instant it pedal dips, that's when I pull all the way back and I'm able to save it. That's why riding the V13 was so hard for me, because the V13 would do this weird little pedal dip, and every time, they called it acceleration assist or brake assist or some, they have those weird assists, but it makes the pedals dip in different ways, and it was messing with my training, because I already had it training installed in me that if I felt that pedal dip at all, then I would pull back. So you'd see me like pull back on the V13, and then the V13's like, no, I'm just trying to help you. And I'm like, who does that? And it's like messing with my brain. So that's why, it would be dangerous for me to get used to the V13 and trusting those pedal dips, and then go back to a Begode wheel that pedal dips like that. And then if I don't react fast enough, I'm going down. So in this crash, I was in no state of mind. I thought I was well within my safety parameters. I thought that this wheel had so much more power than it actually did. I thought it was impossible for me to over torque it. And I lost my temper. So all of those things led to, I was nowhere in my brain did I think that I was anywhere near a pedal dip, and so I wasn't prepared for it. Once it dipped forward, there was a moment where I felt like time expanded, and I felt like I was at a 45-degree angle looking down on the ground and going, oh shit, this is a freaking pedal dip. Where the hell did this come from? And going, pull back, pull back. And I tried to pull back, but I was too far leaned forward. My momentum was still going forward. I couldn't pull myself back. And when I tried to on my pedals, this is my foot, by the way, my pedals felt so soft. It felt so soft. And like, that's because the wheel didn't have much power. And so it felt, and I couldn't pull myself back up again. And then finally I was like, oh God, I can't pull myself. Fine, if I'm going down, let's just go down. And I just took it. And it's funny because I explained how I felt through this whole process to Brian D in San Diego, who is an amazing rider. Like he's an amazing rider. He's the one that got third place at the Vegas race. Um, Amazing rider, fast rider, skilled technical rider, one of the best. He recently had an over torque on the Commander Pro batch 2, and he had the over torque. So him and I were comparing notes on how this over torque felt. And it felt the same for him too. He was like, yeah, that's exactly how it felt. And this and that. Same thing with the soft pedals. So there you go. Both of us think that this is how an over torque feels. And if you want to recover from it, it is recoverable, we believe, if we were ready for it and we had saved some back to be able to pull back on. Both of us didn't save anything for that. We thought that we were in the clear. Both of us did it with the prior feeling that these new wheels, the Commander Pro and the EX30, had so much power, so much stability, so much more to give. And then we were both wrong. It didn't. We both hit that limit. So something to keep in mind. Let's see. McKenna Cox, that's a really good point. An idea, what you're writing says, just glad you weren't badly hurt and don't want to see you get hurt. Thank you. I don't want to see myself get hurt. George Barrett, what's going on with the EX30's power distribution? Has this problem been identified or is it something else? Power distribution, I don't think there is any problem with the power distribution. It's just that it's a new wheel. We're still learning it. We're still trying to figure it out. But keeping in mind that it probably acts more like a master, and the pedal dips are more like a master than like the other safer wheels. So you got to be on top of your game and ready for it. Vapor Ripper, most noobs aren't riding 50 plus miles an hour. Surge, oh, I'm once again in doubt as to whether I should take the Commander Pro or the EX30. The Commander Pro is easier to ride. It's easier to ride and it is an excellent wheel. Also, you know how I had to make these little Roger called them something. What did Roger call them? Air baffle things or something like that. But I had to make these to cover up these top holes. The Clark system covers those holes. The Grizzla system covers those holes. I made these side panels. I know it's ugly, but to cover up these holes, right? It tore off already in the crash, so yeah, I have to redo it. But anyways, so the Commander Pro, you don't have to worry about that. You know, there's no holes to cover up. So much less mods or much less accessories or stuff that you have to purchase. You don't have to worry about having to get extra panels. Like I have the Kydex on this to be able to stick my pads onto it. You don't have to worry about that with the Commander Pro. You know, it has the traditional suit box. I want to say suitcase design so that you can just stick pads straight on it and stuff like that, right? So the Commander Pro is an excellent choice. The EX30, I want to say the EX30 is for the crazy people like me out there that want that extra power. The thing is, I can ride the V13 and get bored with it. Honestly, I had the V13 here for a while and I honestly got bored with it. The Sherman S, I got bored with it. You know, once I figured I rode it without the high speed mode, then I rode it with the high speed mode, really hoping that high speed mode meant high speed, and then turning out, you call this high speed, right? And getting bored with it. The Commander Pro, I didn't get quote unquote bored with it, but it's a safer wheel than this. And yeah, I can see you see me ride the Commander Pro and you heard me say things like, you don't need any additional skills to ride the Commander Pro. Anyone can jump on the Commander Pro and just start going and do this and do that. So to me, if I don't need to learn any additional skills to ride a wheel, that's kind of boring. This thing, you have a lot to learn. It's not safe. It's not going to keep you safe. But to me, learning is growing. So that's what I want. I want something that challenges me. Oh my goodness. It says retry. Okay, never mind. We're back. Glyphix, considering the Sherman S will be my first wheel, I decided to go for it since it's the safer option. I'm excited to start riding. Yes, absolutely. My Sherman Max was absolutely the best wheel for me to learn on. So safe. I was able to keep up with masters and still be safe. And the same with the Sherman S. The Sherman S is a really good, safe wheel. Um, George says, I learned not to over torque a wheel by learning to ride on a 300-watt wheel at nearly 300 pounds. Even a pothole could trigger a cutout. Great experience. Oh my gosh, that sounds scary. McKenna, so I am 12 and I've been riding dirt bikes for 7 years now. So once I got into EUCs, it was so much of a change, but it was really fun. McKenna, are you saying you're 12 years old? That's amazing. That's awesome. Isaac, Frederick, I wonder how power assistance on the V13 feels compared to tiltback. We'll probably train at lower speeds to see if there's a difference in strengths so that at higher speeds and lower battery, it's obvious. Power assistance on the V13, power assistance compared to tiltback. Okay, power assistance. Power assistance on the V13 refers to two different things. It refers to brake assist and acceleration assist. With brake assist, it means that when it feels you braking, it will tilt backwards to help you brake. I don't like that. I like my feet to be, and so when I throw myself back to brake, I don't want this coming back with me. I hated brake assist. Um, and then acceleration assist, when you're on the wheel, this is pedals, and you go to accelerate, it will dip forward and help you accelerate. So I had to learn to trust that. To me, this almost felt no big deal, because when it comes back up with me, it's no big deal. Brake assist was the one that freaked me out because I would brake and then it would come with me, and that freaked me out. And then when I come back to here, it would still kind of be like this, and then I'd come back to neutral, and then like randomly down the line, I'd feel this drop. And when I felt this drop, it felt like a pedal dip to me because I'm like, where did that come from? And so brake assist didn't, with acceleration assist, it feels like this. It's like, and it comes back, right? With a brake assist, it was like, do, and then this comes up, and then this goes down. And then that felt like a pedal dip to me. So that's why I hated brake assist. So, but acceleration assist at a medium level, like 50, 53, was good. Brake assist at a higher level, like 100, it tilts, is like, whoa, I don't like that. So, and it also messes me up in a turn. So in a long sweeper, if I have brake assist and acceleration assist on, right? That means the pedals are now going to dip forwards and backwards depending on what it thinks you want. Well, in the middle of a long sweeper turn, if I see a squirrel, I might brake and then it's going to come backwards at me. And then I'll go, no, go forward, and I'll go forward. Or I want to modulate my speed a little bit where I'm going just a little back, just a little, and then the wheel is trying to interpret that and do its thing. And I'm like, okay, just stop. Too many chefs in the kitchen. Just let me do it, and you stop moving your pedals around because that's just crazy. So that's how I felt about that. ADHD, hi. Oh, sis, as you were explaining the Swiss cheese theory, I laughed to myself. I said, this sounds like a fancy cover up for a simple rider error. Glad you're okay. No, the Swiss cheese model is, first off, this is absolutely rider error. Absolutely. I was dumb. I was just, instead of just saying I'm dumb, though, I actually broke it down into 5 different um, real reasons how I was dumb. All right. So, and those were the holes. So, no, I am absolutely not trying to cover up that it's right or error. I am owning it. And not only am I owning it, I am telling you the 5 main things on exactly how dumb I was and what those dumb points were. Um, for ears only. Marshall from Vegas here, Don. Thanks for the input. I decided to switch my Sherman S order the Commander Pro after my cutout on my 126 S22. I also want the headroom of the CP 134 over SS 100 volt. You know, the CP will feel like it has so much more power and acceleration than the SS, so I'm sure you'll be happy with it. Collector syndrome. On my V11 acceleration assist on a 100, it tilts back against you when you try to accelerate, and at 0 tilts forward. Is it reversed on the V13? It tilts back against you. Okay, so I don't know. Uh, I what I felt is that it tilted me forward, and I have videos showing that too. On the, I made a video about the V13 power assist modes, and I thought I showed how it tilts forward and it tilts back for acceleration assist and for braking assist. Okay, but I do know that the EX30 also has an acceleration assist, and that one sounds like what you're describing here. So with that one, as you ask the acceleration assist, as you lean forward to accelerate, it kind of pushes back on you in order for you to help push it forward again in order to accelerate. And I don't think that I am explaining that properly, but that sounds more, are they the same thing? I don't know. It does feel a little bit different. Um, but I'm not 100%. So I'll let someone else chime in on that. But I do know that I made a video on the V13 power assist things where I try to show what the wheel's doing at those different modes, and I explain what I'm feeling. Um, Serge, sounds great. Do then what new skills EX30 makes you learn? Um, the EX30 what does it make me learn? Well, it's making me learn about over torque, right? It's making me learn how to okay. So I am able to go up to 50 miles an hour on any wheel easily and safely. You know, it's like 50 miles an hour on any wheel is nothing, no big deal. It's when I go from, let's say, 54 and inching into the nethers of 56, right? Like pushing to see if I can get 56, 57 sort of thing. That is like the danger zone above 54 miles an hour. That is where I'm actually still trying to learn. Anything under 52 miles an hour, I'm not learning anything. So I need a wheel that is able to do these upper level speeds, and I want to learn how to do that safely. I can't do that on the Sherman S. I could do it on the Commander Pro, but it just feels like it's too easy on the Commander Pro. Spike, probably crazy to most people, but I own a Master, and I was going to add the EX30 to my inventory. I canceled it and changed it for a wheel no one talks about anymore, the Master Pro V2. Master Pro V2 is a wheel that can cruise at 55 miles an hour. It has so much power. It is a train. It is a beast to accelerate and to brake. And that's not just coming from me. That's coming from, I'm talking to big guys that are riding these wheels, and they will admit that it is a beast to accelerate on. It is a beast to brake on. It is a beast in the turns because you go to turn in it and it wants to just stay upright. So you really got to throw yourself to make that thing turn. But it has the power, it has the most range and everything. A lot of these guys on group rides still, I see them dropping their wheel because they come to a stop. If any the little thing is, then they drop it, you know, and stuff. So it is just a real, but it's something that you have to get used to. It's something that you got to get stronger and stuff like that. But it's okay. Bigode Crash Test. Tell me, I'm buying the Master Pro V2 next week or so. Um, Scott Bones. But how did your leash affect the high speed fall? So this time, my tether did not break away from me because we both were traveling at the same trajectory the entire time. The wheel did hit me a few times as we were going, but that's also because instead of just sliding it out, I decided to tumble. And then, so the wheel did hit me, so I have a few bruises from that. To me, it's like bruises from that versus my wheel shooting off and head over heel. It would have torn itself apart. It would have been totaled. And I mean, we have video proof showing what happens when a wheel um, does that type of crash and goes boom, boom, boom. We have lots of videos and proof showing what happens, and it destroys the wheel. My wheel's not destroyed, far from it. The kickstand is bent up, the foam up here is torn. Those are the battery box over here is chewed up, but I charged him up last night. He is still charging up to 134.3, not 134.4, but I'm good with that. I'm good with 134.3. And it holds that overnight. I tested that the other day. I unplugged it, left it overnight, and it dropped down to, I think it dropped down 1 volt, 133.3. So yeah, the batteries seem fine. I'm going to take that as a clue that the battery's fine. And no other, I think Roger checked it and he said the rim is good. I rode it afterwards. Everything was good. I rode it at speed. I accelerated. I braked. Everything seemed fine. So the wheel came out fine. I came out fine. I'm going to have a few more bruises. I'm going to be sore, but all that'll be fixed in a week or so. And so to me, not a big deal. For those of you just joining, you want to see my road rash? This is my injury. There you go. That's it. And that is a scapula, for those of you that didn't know, or a shoulder blade. So yeah, I got a little bit of road rash. I got some bruises. Not a big deal, and definitely not something that we should like all freak out about. I mean, geez. um, let's see. So the leash. Yes. Without the leash, I'm pretty sure he would be totaled. Um, Without the leash wouldn't have affected me at all. I may have a little bit less bruise, maybe, or maybe not. It depends on, I don't know. But I mean, so many factors in a crash. But he didn't get totaled, and that is most important to me. Like while I was tumbling, crashing, I was worried about my wheel. I was like, oh my gosh, my new EX30. It's like, Damon, don't die. And then he came up and he was fine. Like once we stopped sliding, then I got up, I picked up my wheel, I rolled it over to the side, hopped up onto the sidewalk, and then waited for everyone else to come. Everyone else like was around helping me pick up my stuff, my EVT mirror, which came off, and then something else that came off. The only things that came off was my sparkles. These were on the This was on the back, on the tail. This was his tail. This came off. This always pops off. You just hit it and then it just pops right off. And then when we got onto the sidewalk, one of these came off. It was only being held by a little bit of duct tape onto the top anyways. Don't laugh at me, okay? Because I'm getting the whole Grizzla system, and the whole Grizzla set is going to replace this, and it's going to be fine. This was just a temporary, and this was just a mock-up, a test, just to see if that really was my issue. If covering up those air gaps really would help. And it did. It did. So, okay, what are people saying? Let me see. Bum, bum. Isaac, I used 100% pedal hardness on V11, V12, but for V13, I use the same, but plus with 100% acceleration and brake to give me more control. Needless to say, it changed my riding style to a medium mode, which is nice. Okay, we had it at 100% hardness because that's what we like. But I tried 100% acceleration and brake assist, and oh my gosh, I hated it. But, you know, different people like different things. So, McKenna Cox, my name is actually Milton Cox, but I am using my sister's account. My sister doesn't like EUCs at all. Okay, Milton, but really, you're 12 years old? Wait, what did you say earlier? Was it 12? Yes. Are you really 12 years old? Oh my gosh, you're adorable. Um, Chris says, I absolutely love my Master Pro. Yeah. It's a great wheel. I know Wheelie Brady was whipping that wheel around too. But, you know, in Milton, you're awesome. I think you're amazing. Stay safe. Don't do what I do, okay? I am dangerous. I am a bad influence. Do not do what I do. Um, oh my gosh, I should have put an age restriction thingy on my videos. Now I'm worried. um, the Master Pro. Uh, 12-year-old boys love being adorable. Yeah, Melton, do not listen to me. Or when I say, no, I'll tell you, I'll say, you know, I do this. I'll say, but don't do that. That's dangerous. Okay. Leave that for people like me that, you know, it's like, you are 12. You keep yourself safe. You wear your gear. You listen to your mom and dad. um, oh my gosh, what am I saying? I was trying to say about the Master Pro. Oh yeah. So a lot of people say, Dawn, how are you able to throw these wheels around? Like the V13 feels so heavy. How can you throw it around? And I'm like, I got strong enough, right? The Master Pro, I tried several times. I can ride it well, but it's when it's stopped that weight is just like such a headache for me. And I just know that you guys, I owned the Master Pro. I owned my own Master Pro, but I just knew that I would just be constantly dropping that wheel at stops trying to mount or trying to dismount. I would just be dropping that constantly. And I was like, you know what? I don't want that headache. And that's why I sold it. I owned it for like 1 or 2 days and then I sold it. I was like, no, this is just ridiculous. But the big guys that want to and all that, you know, they're strong and all that, they want to do it is an amazing wheel for them and they all love it. So it is great. Um, Jay, yeah, very good argument for the leash right there, though I do worry about it getting tangled up in legs on the way down. I haven't had it be an issue, and I've been wearing my tether system since the beginning, and I've crashed a lot. So, so it absolutely seems like it would be a possibility, but I haven't had a problem. And then I'm not the only one that uses a tether system. My tether system is different than anyone else's tether system because I incorporate a lot of emergency releases in mine, which I don't hear about in anybody else's tether system, right? But lots of people do use tethers, and by now you would think that we would have seen a video or mention of a tether system causing some kind of catastrophic injury or something bad about the tether system, and we haven't. And there's lots of us using these tethers for on dirt, on high speed and stuff like that. And this is my second high speed crash with my tether, and it still acted just like I knew it would. It would no surprises. Um, let's see. Jay says, did you feel massive tug from it as your body weight stopped its on running? Um, that only happened on my first high speed crash with the tether. Then it separated. I never even felt a tug. I mean, there's too much going on. But remember, the wheel and I were both going the same direction. But all of a sudden, the wheel veered off into another direction. And once it got to about there, then it went boom, and then it just fell over. That tug made it fall over. But we're still going in the same direction, and there's so much tugs and bumps and stuff. I can't say for sure that I felt any tug, but in the video, you see it like go off and then go. And so it's on video. So watch that video of it. I mean, it's like totally documented, which is awesome. But no, it didn't hurt me at all, which is why my emergency release is so important. And in that video of my tether system, I explain how if you want, if you want it to break with only 5 pounds of pressure, you can do that. And you won't even feel 5 pounds of pressure. If you want it to break at 300 pounds of pressure, you can do that. You can set what pressure it is that your emergency releases at. So that's controllable. Think you might have to double tether the Master Pro. No, the thing is, it doesn't, all the tether does is knock the wheel onto its side. Once the wheel is on the side, all that energy dissipates into the ground. The tether is not meant to hold, 10,000 pounds of weight. Okay. The tether is its only job, knock that wheel onto its side and let it slide it out or whatever and dissipate that energy on its side instead of dun, 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 on its nose and tail. Constantly somersaulting on its nose and tail is what keeps hurting the wheel. Obviously, we can all see that, right? We can all see that if it knocked onto its side, it'd be fine. And so it doesn't take much to knock it on its side. And so that's its only job. Knock it on its side. Let's see. That EVT mirror is indestructible, right? Every single crash, this EVT mirror. It is amazing. It is cloudy, though. It's cloudy because it's just plastic and it's been through so much, but it's still oh, there's a new scratch on it now. But I'm getting a replacement. Remember, 5 years, no questions asked, replacement on your EVT mirrors. So all you have to do is contact them, tell them what's wrong or not tell them what's wrong or whatever, and they'll send you a new one. You got 5 years to do that. So yeah, it's worth it with that warranty. Jay, by the way, I fixed my master, so we'll be trying your seated writing tips soon. Thank you for my video. You're welcome, Jay. Let me know how it goes with the seated. Remember, squat, squat, squat. Chris learned what a shoulder is called today. A scapula. No, the shoulder is a shoulder. The scapula is your shoulder bone. See, I forgot again. What is this thing called? Shoulder blade. The shoulder blade is your scapula, the blade of the shoulder back there. Let's see. Oh, Roger was being sarcastic when he said 12-year-old boys love being adorable. Not. You can't say that. I don't get sarcasm. Jay, good to hear, perhaps not for cliff riding, though. But seriously, not many cliffs go like this, okay? A lot of cliffs are like this in actuality. So if you fall off the edge and then your wheel is laying down, because I did do that. It was really steep, but the wheel was laying on the ground. And even though it was a really steep angle, I was up here, the wheel was down here. The tether prevented the wheel from continuing to tumble down, and the wheel wasn't dragging me because honestly my entire body laying on the ground attached to a wheel, yeah, I couldn't climb up. I needed some help, because I was tethered to my wheel, which was down there, but neither one of us moved. And I said, help. And then people came to help. And so, I said, go get my wheel. One person went down and they grabbed the wheel, and then I untethered myself, and then I climbed up, and then he lifted the wheel up, and then I grabbed the wheel. So that's what happened. I mean, the only time that people are thinking of off a cliff is like those cliffs where it's like this, and then it goes like this, and then you're like, whee, like in cartoons. But in reality, that's not really what happens. You have a slope, and anyways. And anyways, with my emergency release, if it really tumbled off so hard at a certain weight, then the emergency release will snap, and then yeah, I'll lose my wheel and stuff like that. But or it'll just lay down. So, anyways, there's stuff. It's fine. It's fine. McKenna, out of all the wheels I've seen, the EX30 is really growing on me. It just has so much powering for as heavy of a wheel that it's so maneuverable. It definitely feels like a 70-pound wheel. Uh, I insist, dynamic tilt back is the key for Lou Fouyer. I am not convinced only because I am literally using up all the power in the wheel. That is how I over torqued it. I over torqued it. I demanded the power, and the wheel couldn't provide it, and so it dropped. Tilt back requires power. With what I'm doing, tilt back, I'm demanding all the power of the wheel. Tilt back is demanding power of the wheel. The wheel doesn't have it to give. So it would only work if you weren't demanding all the power of the wheel. Then the tilt back uses power to tilt back, and then um, and that's how it notifies you that you are asking too much. But in order for it to tilt back, it uses power. Now, a lot of people will say, no, it doesn't use much power. And to which my reply is, explain to me then, if you are, say, let's throw numbers. You are 200 pounds. You are standing on your pedals. You are going 50 miles an hour. You are leaning forward with 200 pounds and forward acceleration and all that. Wait, why am I doing this? Your wheel needs to tilt up. How can it tilt up without using power? How can it raise that force and change that angle with 200 pounds on it without using power? So it has to use power. And how much power would it need to use to lift 200 pounds at this speed, at all this stuff, with all these factors, a certain degree, and at a degree in which you would notice it? And also, when I feel a tilt up, I fight it. My first reaction isn't to go, oh, my wheel's tilting up, I should slow down. When I feel tilt back, my first reaction is, what the, and I push harder and I lean more into it, which means that more power would need to take to fight me on that, right? So I don't know. Big Goat Crash Test Dummy. I watched a 13-year-old get his first wheel, and he rode it immediately and was doing seated riding in the first 5 minutes, backwards by the day 2. Pissed me off, the little bastard. Yes, kids are amazing. Uphill dismounts on heavy wheels are such a pain, but here more stability when it gets rolling, right? Yeah. Hunter, looking forward to that crash video. Best lessons ever. Um, uh, yeah, Michael Carey, he said that he might have gotten the crash on his Insta360. He will check, but he was really far back, so he'd have to zoom in, and the quality absolutely wouldn't be there and stuff like that. But he'll check. I'm very curious to see what happened as well. Um, Although Roger made a little video about how my crash happened, and maybe he'll post that up. He posted it in Telegram where he used a little mini wheel and he demonstrated exactly what happened in my crash. Although he didn't even see it, he was ahead. But that video was amazing. What you're writing says, have you thought about Freestyler's dynamic tilt back firmware? And I answered about dynamic tilt back. Um, got to play around with it on the V13. And once again, I think that's what the V13, their reserve power is for, is they reserve that power that you do not have access to. They reserve that power so that it can power that tilt back. And I'm not too big of a fan on that. Hunter says, glad you're okay. Thank you. I'm glad I'm okay too. Then there are different people that think different things. Like, I know one of the questions was, how do you feel about safety on the EUCs now? And I'm like, I know how to ride safely um, at 50, I'll say 53 miles an hour. I can ride safely at 53 miles an hour on any wheel. It's fine, not a big deal. These issues that I'm having with these high speed crashes, all of them has been 55, pushing it, you know, slamming it down when it's already at low battery, when it's already at, I'm, these are not normal circumstances. I am not crashing with easy stuff. Under 53 miles an hour, I'm not crashing at those times. I'm crashing when I am retarded, I am stupid, I lose my temper, I don't know about over torque and I don't know the limits of my wheel yet, and I'm finding them out. That is when I'm doing these mistakes. So I'm at a different level. I'm at a different place. So you talk about, are EUC safe? No. I mean, can we all agree that EUCs are kind of crazy and dangerous? I mean, we're balancing on one wheel without any handlebars or anything, and it's battery powered, and you got to learn about all this battery stuff, and then it's got all these limitations, and it's just like, no, it's not safe, right? But can you ride an EUC quite safely when you stay within? Yeah, you can. So it's not a big deal. Wear your gear, have your gear. That's why I wear gear. When I was starting out on EUCs, and I still remember this, everybody, um, Chuck, why are you crashing? I don't know. Glad you're okay. Thank you. But when I was first starting out, I wore so much gear. I wore so much stuff. And then not only did I wear gear, I made a whole utility frame system out of PVC and metal and all this stuff and Velcro. And I stuck it on my wheel to completely fortify it, armor it up. It's like I did all this, and people were all ridiculing me because they were all like, you look like you're going into battle. And I was like, I know myself. I know that this is a new thing that I want to learn, and I am going to fall. I am going to fall and fall and fall and fall. I'm going to hurt myself and hurt myself, and I know it. Does that stop me? No. It just means I wear my gear. And I know that my wheel's going to get hurt. Does it stop me? No, it just means that I will put on armor and this utility system frame around it, and I will protect him the best that I can and all that. And then now I don't bother with the frame thing anymore because I figured out other things and all that stuff. But to me, oh, and then some other people say, you need to tone it down, or you need to um, stop riding, or you need to buy a different wheel, get a V13, it'll keep you safe. Not if I'm falling asleep while riding it, okay? um, or things like that. It's like, you guys, I understand the sentiment of you make a mistake or you crash And people get so scared about it. They're like, you need to stop riding. I got that so much with my motorcycle racing, right? But to me, it's not like that. I am learning. Making mistakes is a part of learning. In this, it just means that you're going to crash. If you want to crash safely, learn how to fall. Wear the best gear you can afford all the time when do things that reduces the damage of a fall. But can we avoid the fall altogether? You can avoid it pretty darn good. Just stay in the lower, stay within your comfort zone, stay within what you know. Like I know I can almost guarantee I can ride at 40 miles an hour without crashing, right? And so that's what I do when I ride. I stay within my safe bubble when I ride someone else's wheel, like Larry's Sherman S. I know I don't want to crash that, so I stay within a safety bubble. But when I want to learn something new, has anyone been able to learn new tricks without ever falling? And then what about those tricks on mountain bikes where they're like launching off things and doing somersaults and landing? Do you ever learn that without falling and without getting hurt? No. So when you are pushing those upper levels, you're going to get hurt. If you're not willing to do that, that's fine. You stay with what you're comfortable with. For whatever crazy insane reason, it doesn't bother me. I'm fine with it. I have more curiosity in my mind on what happens and what ifs. That curiosity in me is just stronger than my concern about getting a little boo-boo on my scapula. It's like, so yeah. What other concerns did people have? Let's see. What You Writing says, EUCs are not safe. That's why they're so fun, right? Yeah. If it was totally safe, I mean, that'd be boring. Um, will there be video of the crash? I don't know. Michael Carey said he's going to check his camera and see if there is video of the crash. It will probably just be me going like this, and then it went boom, and then boom, 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 boom. There. Um, Indica Kitty, you don't learn if you quit. I mean, nothing is safe when it comes to this lifestyle. Exactly. I could go, oh my gosh, it crashed. It's like, I need to stop writing EUCs. Or what I could do is I could say, hey, I will watch my speed and watch my limit and all this stuff. I can do that at any time. But for me, yeah, it's just a curiosity. The Joes are just jealous that you have more balls than them. uh, so, all right. Is there anything else we need to talk about? I already showed the damage to my wheel. That was minimal. Credit to my tether system. I have a video about my tether system explaining all about it and the emergency releases that are so crucial and important in my mind. I showed my gear and how it got all tore up. My Liat knee guards, right? These things, we all have these, right? These things are amazing. These are the same pair that my very first pair, and they have gone through so. Oh, this is new. This tearing off over here. Yeah, I do, and over here, I do have bruises on the bottom, like here on both legs. I do have bruises there, but my knee feels a little bit torqued, but it'll be fine. But yeah, I landed pretty hard. Um, there's gouges and stuff on here. So usually with these, I will either cut that off or I will just remelt the plastic and smooth it out back over, and it is fine. If I tear straps, I can re-sew the straps, and the straps will be fine. I don't see much that I need to repair on these. Oh wow. Oh wow. I didn't see that. That is new. So yeah, I tore that. This is my left leg, Yeah. Okay. So what I always do, I check all my gear, and I will see things like this, and I'll check it on my body because I don't always feel everything on my body, or it will explain what I felt on my body, like how I did with my gloves. I was like, oh yeah, my thumb hurts, and I checked my glove, and my glove's like all torn at the thumb part. I was like, oh yeah, there you go, it matches, you know. So like, yeah, I have something with my left knee going on, and it seems like something did happen there. And, you know, yeah, so this is still fixable and usable. So we're not too concerned about that. That's just some padding at the top there. And I do have other ones of these that I can use. I'll be getting a new helmet. The Scorpion EXO AT950 is what I am using right now. I love this helmet. This is the first time I have an actual serious crash in it, which now makes me more comfortable because now I can say that I crash tested this helmet seriously and it passes my test for safety. Before that, you know, I couldn't really say. That's the other thing I love about these crashes, you know, it puts everything that I had in theory to the test, and then and once it's tested, then it passes the test. Then we now know. All right, this is now we know. Yes, this is a good helmet, dude. I mean, I've crashed a lot in it. Nothing that was this major, but this is the first major crash in it, and it held up perfect. So I was debating about getting another one exactly like this, which will be a 280 some dollars. We'll just say $300. But Scorpion says that they have the Scorpion EXO AT960 coming out with new colors, new designs. It'll be, you know, I love designs. I was looking at those helmets, and they said it'll be released on spring of 2023. That is soon, somewhere right now, right? Um, I think I will wait for that. The new helmet will cost around a little bit over $300, which is just a little bit over. So I'm not saving much by getting the older model. Although if I waited until this came out, the older models will probably drop in price. So I don't know. I think I would rather splurge a little bit and get the newest, best, the 18960, and with the new design and all that. And I will still use it with a gold mirrored face shield because that's my thing right now. So yes, I will be retiring this helmet as soon as that new model comes out. I'm looking forward to the new model. That should be coming out in any day now. Did I show you guys what happened to my bell? Who is this? Let me see. Um, mm, mm, mm. Milton, I tried to carry my hedgehog on a ride, but I almost dropped her because she poked me. Milton, Milton, right? I had a hedgehog, okay? And I would recommend not to carry your pets on rides because if you fall, you could squish them. And if you fall and you squish your hedgehog, that is going to make lots of pokey holes into your skin. And though you know that those are sharp. So, yeah, don't do that. You don't want to squish them and you don't want them poking holes in you. ADHD, I love that you're so open and honest. Thank you. Indica Kitty, I just love her mindset. Thank you. The loud noise made her shrivel up. Yes. Yes, it's too loud. Hedgehogs do not like hedgehogs do not like high speed runs on unicycles. Um uh all right. I am sad about my mirror. This got all rashed up, and then the mirror here got all scraped up. I think, oh, it still works fine. Still works fine. I'm not going to replace that just yet. I just replaced it. This glove needs my bell. I'm going to need to sand it down because this is a metal bell, and these scratches are sharp now. I'll take a Dremel and soften all of this up. But it still works. So that is good. Yeah, all my gear pretty much held up well. Okay, are we done? Um, oh my gosh. Chuck? Is this Chucky? Chuck 511? I seem to remember you riding with a sugar glider back in the day. Chucky, did you find me on the Great White Internet? Oh my gosh. It has been forever. So, okay, wait, can I click on you and see your picture? Oh, let me see. It's Chucky! SoCal Chuckster, are you still here? Chucky, are you still here? Um, okay. Oh my gosh. So Chuck E is one of my good friends from motorcycle riding days. How have you been? You're in Washington? Wow. Are you still a cop? Um, he's Popo. Uh, yeah. Oh my gosh. So, yes, I rode with a sugar glider because, but that was only, oh, maybe I did it more than once. Um, so I went to Vegas. I think I rode my bike to Vegas. Oh, unfortunately, Jackie, I'm glad you found me. Um, so I think we as a group rode to Vegas, and I bought a sugar glider in Vegas because they're legal there. They're not legal here in California. Sugar gliders are these little tiny marsupials that resemble a flying squirrel, but they're not squirrels because squirrels are rodents. So a sugar glider is a marsupial, and you can get these little pouches made of fleece, and it's just like a, those little kangaroo pouches that little joeys will go inside. Well, you have a little pouch, and then the sugar glider goes inside, and I tucked this little pouch in my cleavage, and then I had my leather suit on and stuff like that, and I that's how I smuggled a sugar glider from Vegas to California. Oh my gosh, Chucky, we had to illegally import it via motorcycle caravan because it was a group of us riding motorcycles, and we illegally. It was amazing, and then I had that sugar glider for the rest of his life, and yeah, he would often be in this little pouch. Oh, Milton says I love them. My uncle has one. Yeah, so he'd often be in my little pouch in my cleavage when I rode around. But Milton, you are 12 years old and do not do that with your uncle's sugar glider. um, the wind noise and all that will scare them, I think. Anyways, I'm glad to see you, Chucky. Miss you. It's been forever. Keep in touch. Bonzi Boy says, I find it's just as fun crashing as I do riding geared up. Am I mad? Yes, you are mad, Bonzi Boys, but you're in good company. I like crashing when something good comes of it. So if I crash and I learn my lesson, it highlights what I did wrong. What did I not know? What did I miss? You know, and it highlights those things, and I can pick out all these points that I missed, that I messed up on. I made a mistake. I was lacking in, and I fix those. I correct those. What happens? I am now a better rider. I am now at least more aware, right? If it tests out my gear and proves to me that my gear is working, or proves to me that my gear isn't working, then I know, what do I need to improve on? What do I need to change? What do I need to fix? That's what the value of crashing is. Crashing gives you valuable information. Don't just get overcome by fear and just go, I crashed, never do that again. Then, oh, well, you can do that if you want. No one's forcing you, but you're not really learning anything, and you're not growing in it. So you can choose to grow in it or, not. And it's your choice. No judgment either way. Um, let's see. Mark Richard Davies, did you hear your set PWM warnings in your helmet? No, I did not, because I went past that. There is a delay from when you do something to your wheel realizing what you did, to your wheel sending the signal to beep or whatever, to the Bluetooth delay that it takes for that Bluetooth delay to get to your helmet and beep. All of those delays takes a split second. I did not give it a split second. I went bam, and I demanded immediately power that it didn't have, and I went down. So I went through all of the safety things. I just barreled through like the Hulk. I'm a baby Hulk. I admit it. I'm sorry. Do not baby Hulk the wheels. You will over torque it and it will fall. So, lesson of the day. Um, let's see. EUC Limber, good said you can only learn from your mistakes. Um, Not only, you can learn from other people's mistakes too, right? I mean, if I was a smarter person, I could learn from Roger telling me, but I am not. So I am a person that tends to only learn from my own mistakes, but other people can learn from my mistakes, which is the purpose of this video, is to share my mistakes with you guys. So you guys, especially Milton, are you paying attention? Do not baby Hulk your wheel and over torque. Yes, Male Rights USA. I overpowered an EX30. Little old me overpowered the EX30. Can you imagine? I didn't think that it was possible. Yeah, no baby Hulk in the wheel. Baby Hulk over torques the wheel. Uh, Also true, keep on changing your mistakes. Yeah, I will make more mistakes. I will crash again. I will upgrade my gear. I will get better gear. I will keep improving. This is how we improve. We make mistakes, we get up again, and then we make more mistakes until we are all better. Any wheels can be overpowered as the battery got lower. This will forever be shortcomings of an EUC. Yes, and that is another thing. Remember, people say your motorcycle training, must help you so much. There's so much my motorcycle training is a detriment to me because I'm expecting and remembering the power of a motorcycle, and these EUCs don't have that with their puny little batteries that get run out. Um, you are making me think of my ruthless little brother. You're such a positive person. Love it. Have to watch your channel daily. Thank you. Yes. Oh, speaking of my channel, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Where's my bell? Where's my bell? When you hit the notification bell, then you will be notified whenever I put a new video out. Remember, if there are requests on videos, I can do that. I do want to share one thing with you before I go. Where's my thing? Oh, here it is. I'm using it as a stand. Um, so, wound care. If you do get wounded, you can buy rolls of the, or you can buy Tegaderm. You can buy things like Tegaderm, and it's fancy and it's expensive and all that. Or you can get a big roll of this. And this is, oh, let me cut out a piece and so that I can show you. So a nice big roll of this. This is wound care, okay? You're like, what is this stuff? This is, if you want to do a proper, get the Tegaderm. Get the fancy, expensive stuff. If you don't really care so much like I do and you just want to have, I cut a bunch of these about this size because this is usually about the size of a wound. You can have bigger sizes and cut them down, but I'll have little ones of this and I'll have a bunch of them and I'll keep it in my first aid kit. And what this is I'm going to wait. On this side, there will be one thingy that you can take off, and this is the sticky side. Where am I going to do this? Should I do my arm? Sticky side. And then you can peel this off. and stick it on. And then you can take off the top and the bottom. And it is like a clear thingy, like Tegaderm. You see the shiny? Okay. So this, all it is like saran wrap with really strong stickies that'll stick to your skin. It will cover any size wound because you saw the big roll of it. You can make it of any size, right? But most road rashes and wounds, you can stick this, and then you can stick multiple of them together because it's basically like saran wrap. It is super sticky and strong, and then you can just pull it off. Now, it will adhere better the longer it is on. Like, I have stuck this on me, and then like right now it looked like it was so easy to take off, but that's because it wasn't on there for long enough. I have stuck this on me and then had to be so almost impossible to get off. Like, it hurt, like my skin was pulling my skin as well to get it off. Okay, so in order to make sure that it's not a problem, make sure that you, if this is your wound, cover the wound with a neosporin, or what is it called, an antiseptic uh, uh, gel. Neosporin, does everyone know what neosporin is? You know, that gel, the antibacterial, antibiotic, oh god, I can't think. But anyways, put wound care paste on the wound and just leave a little outline around it. Then stick this stuff on it. It will stick, but it won't stick to that gel, to the wound care thing, right? It won't stick to that. And that way you only have a thin edge around to have to worry about pulling off, and then it's not going to hurt when you pull it off. It is very sticky. It is antibiotic ointment, right? So you use the ointment to on places where you don't want it to stick on, which is your wound, and then where it does stick on will be only the edges and stuff. And yeah, it's cheap because you can buy a big roll of it. They use this for aftercare when you get a tattoo. This is the stuff that they use. So it is very affordable and really good, and it's easy. And then if you carry little gauze pads, the reason why I'm saying this is because like Tegaderm and stuff like that, they can be pricey, and then they come in specific sizes. So then you have to carry all different sizes, and it's pricey and all this stuff, right? This stuff you can cut to whatever size that you want. And if you carried a little bit of gauze and you know, was generous with the ointment on the gauze, put that gauze over your wound, then cover it with this, then this will bend with you and everything, and it will keep it covered, and it is very sticky, and it's just stuff for wound. So instead of a set certain type of Band-Aid, this will work as well. And that is what I'm using for my wounds right now. That's why I'm bringing it up. All right, are we done? Um, Does Grizzly have side panels for EX30 yet? Yes, the Grizzly has the whole set system, which is amazing. I've only seen pictures of it. There are pictures online on their website, on Instagram, so look those up. Their system includes handles for this narrow little bar that is so painful. It includes something that covers this side over here. It has the whole panel system. It covers up the holes. It has bottom battery box covers, which I'm hoping will cover his boo-boo over here on his battery boxes. It includes a special upgrade for the kickstand. So if I can fix my kickstand, I will be able to put that on. Like, it has so many features, like so much to the point that we're all wondering how much this is going to cost, because we're like, oh my gosh, this has to be costly. But hang on, I don't know if they have a price out yet. Hang on, because I do know that they are very fair in their pricing. historically so. So I'm expecting, and then of course, they often do share their designs with the community, and people will be able to print out their own as well. So, you know, they are awesome that way. And take a look. And if you choose to buy their Grizzly system, take a look at my channel. In my this description, and I'll put it in this video and in my previous videos. If you look at this description in my videos, you'll see that there is a Grizzly coupon code for 10% off. So you can get 10% off of your Grizzly purchase using my code. So how that happened is I asked Grizzly if they would give me a code. They said, okay, you have two options. I can give you a 5% off to your viewers, and then you get a 5% off. You get a 5% kickback. So if they purchase, they get 5% off, and you get 5% to me, I guess. Or you can get a 10% for your viewers, and you get nothing. So I said, okay, let's do that. 10% off for you guys. I get nothing from it, but you guys get the whole 10%. And so use it, you know, make use of it. I don't get anything from it. And I'm sure they would rather people didn't use the coupon code so that they get more money. But they are great. I love the Grizzly system. And I am looking forward. I'm going to be getting the Grizzly system for my EX30, for my M10-4. I'm going to be getting their leveling system for my MCM5, and I ordered their M10-4 and my MCM5, and I'll have videos on all of those things. I'm still using Clark Titan pads are still my pads of choice because so far these are still the only pads that do not give me hot spots. But other than that, I love Grizzly system stuff. Oh, and I'm going to try out their stand too. So there is that. Um, La Specialita di Beppe. Hello from Italy. Hi! Yay, Italy is here. Ryan just got here. Cutout on the EX30. What speed? Hope you recover fast. I don't know. Let's say 55 miles an hour on the EX30. It wasn't a cutout. It was an over torque. Milton, have you figured out what price of the pack is yet? No, I didn't look today, but they should be posting a price soon if they haven't already. So just keep checking. I don't really have any special inroads with them, so I don't know. Mo Border says, Grizzly is awesome. I lost the bottom of my flow, and he's sending me a free replacement. Awesome. Yes, they are really super nice. Team Clark pads all day. Yes, I like my Clark pads. I keep going back to my, oh, I was going to show you the cut ones, but the cut ones are on him. Yeah, I keep going back to my Clark pads, but the Clark system tend to bulk up the wheel a lot, and I can't handle so much bulk. It's like the Grizzly sets tend to keep it slim and tidy and not so bulky, and so I tend to like that better. All right, so is that it? Are we all done? No more questions? Have I gone over everything? I went over all my gear. I went over why I crash. You know, do not be dumb like me. Do not lose your temper. Learn about over torque. I think Roger put a link. I don't know. I saw someone put a link to something. I'm hoping that the link is for that video of the slow person talking about the difference between a cutout and an over torque, an over lean sort of thing. And we need to learn about that, you guys. I need to learn about that. That made me get an owie, so that's not good. Thank you for joining me today. Let's see. Thank you for, Ryan says, thank you for clarifying V13 versus EX30 versus Sherman S. What's the fastest? For sure, the EX30 is the fastest. Is he going to get you there safely? No. But if you develop the skills to be able to coax that out of him safely, you will be able to go the fastest on the EX30. The Sherman S, absolutely is not in the running for the fastest, but still pretty darn fast and probably fast enough for most people. I mean, not a slouch. The V13, well, the V13, they did say that they're going to unlock to what, 70? Was it 70 miles an hour? They want to unlock that for some people, and we'll see how that goes. They haven't done that yet, but the V13, as it was when we did our speed tests on it, it maxed out at 56 miles an hour, which was, I don't remember. You'll have to look back on those videos, but yeah, I think that the V13 was fast and it was safe doing it. So, um, but it doesn't have a lot of torque. It failed in the torque department on the low end torque, like in the dirt and stuff. Milton says the only reason I know what over torquing means is because I used to have a tiny little hoverboard, and those things are the easiest to over torque. See, there you go. I never played around with things like that. So yeah, I don't know. I went straight to my R6 and my R1 motorcycles, and I could never over torque those things. Um, Sherman S took me to 57 GPS, so I'm looking for an upgrade for 50 miles an hour sustained. Really? Sherman S, 57 GPS. I did not get that on the Sherman S. I think I got 48 on the Sherman S. So 80%, the Sherman S beeps right around 50. Okay, we are having totally different numbers then because send the info on Telegram? Yeah. Wait, are you saying you're going to send me info on Telegram, or I have no info to send you on Telegram. But if you want to talk to me on Telegram, you are more than welcome to um, find me on Telegram. I think I'm just on Champion everywhere. But yeah, uh, I don't know. I wrote that one and I can't hold numbers in my head very well. Um, so okay, I don't know, Ryan. Just I'm throwing out a lot of words here. I don't know what your yes means, but find me on Telegram and we will chat more. But I don't know. The Sherman S didn't seem that impressive as far as high speed. Not the one that I tested, at least. I think I got probably in the 50s, but not 57 GPS. I would have remembered that because I haven't gotten to 57 GPS on anything. Um, 57 indicated, yes. How are you doing your GPS? What device are you using? Because different GPS things are different. A phone's GPS will be different than like my Garmin's GPS, stuff like that. So, not that I'm doubting you or anything. I just that is just a big discrepancy in numbers. If you are getting 57 GPS on your Sherman S, well, but then I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to say this, but let me see what's going on here. Did you send me something? Oops. How do I do this? Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, maybe not. Anyways, I'm not sure. How do I go back? Oh no. Here we go. So, yeah, I don't know. I know that different wheels do have different numbers and how they report things as well. Like right now, there's a problem with EX30 the power distribution. Is it the power distribution board or the the little baby board that's on top there? So the problem is that the wheels are charging up to full 134.4 volts, let's say, but they are reporting not. They are reporting a much lower number. And so people then are thinking that their wheels are not charging all the way up, but it is because when you test it with a multimeter, the battery packs are showing 134.4, so they are charging to full. So the problem is the board is reading it wrong, or it is reporting the number wrong. So would that be a problem with the translation to your app? Or is it a problem with how the board is reading the number? Or is it the problem with how the board is then sending that data back out? You know what I mean? So when there is an actual number, there are still several different ways that it can error to show you. And so that can also happen with speed. Speed is another number that it can it can be an actual number, and then it can report out a different number, higher or lower than other wheels. So that is why we have like with mine, I have multiple things checking my speed. I have my Garmin Phoenix 6X Pro, um, which is, I would say, quite reliable. And then I have my phone's GPS. And then I have darkness spot as well. And then the wheel's display will also give another number for speed, right? These are all different ways that we're trying to figure out what is the true speed. But not that it I mean, does it really matter and all that stuff? But anyways, um, honestly, I would just get one of the old Master Pro's motherboard for the charging. Milton, why are you so smart? How do you even know this stuff? This is not stuff that I think a normal 12-year-old should know. But you are, I think you're absolutely right. You're way too smart for your own good. So, yes, my only concern is why are you so smart? You are amazing. So, you're not a 12-year-old boy, are you? I mean, you're just like totally pulling my leg here. Um, anyways, okay, I think we are done here. Thank you everyone for joining me. I hope that that helps, and charge it to 134.4 volts. Yes, yes, it would. Um, and I will talk to you guys later. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Please help me grow my channel. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.